Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Two things you need to know. Our first weather maker is a nice little drop in humidity, but we do have hot weather on the way later this week. I'll show you when.
Facing the death penalty, a man accused of beating his parents, leading to his mother's death. What you can expect today as jury selection begins in his trial.
And tonight in Zebulon, people can get answers about a recent shakeup in town leadership. The town hall happening tonight after both the town manager and the assistant town manager resigned. A lot to tell you about here on this Monday morning as we get your work week started with all you need to know. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along here as we get going Monday. It's kind of refreshing out there right now, I would say. With the
need
temperature,
a jacket.
Right? The temperature the way it is. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We're going to go through some changes though this week.
We are. We're at that time of year where days like this are, kind of few and far between as we're about to move into May. But it feels fantastic out there. Our dew point is way down here, so the muggy meter is right at refreshing for today. It is on its way up a little later on this week. But take a look here at Carr Lake. Temperature 47 right now in the Triangle. So it's definitely jacket weather, at least in my book. Our winds are light, however. Our temperature at 39 right now in Roxborough. It's 47 in Rocky Mount, 42 in Goldsboro, but 52 in Fayetteville, 49 in Southern Pine. So nice and cool out there. Temperatures are running anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. It'll be a lovely day today, starting cool this morning, 71 at lunchtime. We'll see a high of 78. We'll talk about a little mini heat wave on our way for later in the week coming up.
The breaking news we're following at this hour. A person is in custody after troopers say they led them on a chase in Durham. Now, State Highway Patrol says the chase started on I-885 about 3:40 this morning. Troopers used a pit maneuver to end the chase right near TW Alexander Drive and South Miami Boulevard. WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there as that car was towed away. No one was hurt. We're working to learn more about the charges the driver will face.
Today, jury selection begins for the trial of a Raleigh man facing murder charges in the beating of both of his parents. Christopher McCullough is charged with the death of his mother. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Wake County Justice Center. And Kelsey, McCullough could face the death penalty if convicted.
Yes, Renee, he could. And in a few hours, a jury will be selected here at the Wake County Justice Center. We know that Christopher McCullough will be facing a judge soon after he's been charged with the murder of his mother. Our cameras were rolling the last time McCullough appeared in court. He's accused of beating his mom and dad in front of his 2-year-old son. In 2023, his mother died from her injuries after the attack. Now McCullough could face the death penalty if he's convicted. WRAL obtained court records from 2022. We found that McCullough's father, John, took a protective order against his son, writing that McCullough had punched me several times, knocking me to the floor, and also threatened to kill me and my wife. John McCullough added his son had used a large knife. So we'll let you know what happens after jury selection and keep you updated on what's next for this trial. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Today, people in Zebulon will get a chance to ask questions about a major leadership shakeup there. Both town manager and assistant town manager have recently resigned. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us now from Zebulon. And Laura, people have a lot of questions about what's going on in the local government there.
Jeff, good morning. The community and residents here in Zebulon do have some really big questions on what's going on behind these doors here at Zebulon Town Hall with the leadership. And today, the mayor is expected to give some form of update at this town hall, as well as talk about other current events. So this is the first town hall since the town manager abruptly resigned, saying the handling of a serious personnel matter was unethical and inappropriate. Then 4 days later, the assistant town manager, Kellyanne Williams, resigned. Both Todd and Williams were hired by the town late last year after a longtime town manager, Joe Moore, resigned last June. And Williams was the first to take on this position permanently in December. Now, we know the town commissioners, they denied any wrongdoing, but confirmed that Williams was suspended prior to her resignation. But no other information has been shared regarding what exactly happened with town leadership here. So residents and community members will have the opportunity to get some questions answered with this town hall beginning at 5:30 this evening. That's going to be held at the Zebulon Community Center. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We're live in Zebulon.
In just a few hours, a traffic pattern shift goes into place on Falls of Neuse Road in Raleigh. Starting at 7 this morning, Raleigh Water is closing the right southbound lane near WakeMed North Hospital. A temporary lane shift will allow 2 lanes of southbound traffic to be maintained. The change is expected to be in place through Friday, May 9th.
A man is recovering after a shooting at a shopping center in Moore County. First responders found a man who had been shot last night around 10 o'clock in Aberdeen. He was airlifted by helicopter to a trauma center, and the Aberdeen police chief says a flight involving 3 male teenagers broke out. At some point, a gun was pulled out and the man was shot. The chief says they have a person of interest in this case.
A man is dead and at least 4 others were shot at a university in eastern North Carolina. This happened at Elizabeth City State University just after midnight yesterday morning. The university says it happened at the center of campus following an event called Yard Fest, which is part of their annual Viking Fest celebration. Elizabeth City State says a 24-year-old man who was killed was not a student. 3 of the 4 people injured in the shooting were students. 2 other students were injured during the commotion after the shooting.
Today, people in Canada will vote in an election that'll determine their next prime minister. Prime Minister Mark Carney, who just took over after Justin Trudeau stepped down last month, is hoping to hold on to that position. Canadians don't directly vote for prime minister. They vote for lawmakers in their respective areas. The leader of the party that ends up with the most lawmakers in parliament becomes prime minister. The Trump administration's tariffs are expected to be a big issue for those voters.
The time is 4:36 here in the WRAL Live Center. While we're still talking about Canada, I just want to show you these images that were coming in from overnight regarding the Vancouver's Filipino community mourning after those 11 people were killed at a festival, a street festival on Saturday. Quite a few people were injured as well. And you can see here people leaving the flowers there, praying. They lit candles at one point. And we do know that police have since identified a 30-year-old man in connection with this case. But the video really just illustrates just the pain that community is going through right now after all those people were killed over the weekend.
So tragic. Chris, thank you. A 19-year-old is facing charges connected to a stabbing in Cary. This happened around 6:30 last night on Chatham Street. A 50-year-old man was taken to the hospital with a minor injury. Police arrested Andrew Gemelli. They are working to determine the relationship between the 50-year-old and Gemelli.
President Trump is speaking out about the arrest of Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan. She was arrested by the FBI Friday, and she's accused of helping an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest.
We can't let these people stay, and the courts are allowing them to stay, and we're just not going to allow it.
Dugan's arrest shows a ramp up in the Trump administration's focus on judges' conduct, particularly as it relates to immigration. The Justice Department says it'll investigate any local officials who do not help federal authorities on immigration matters.
More than 100 undocumented immigrants were detained at a nightclub in Colorado during a DEA raid. Video posted to X shows agents taking an estimated 114 immigrants into custody Saturday night. This happened in Colorado Springs after what officials say was a months-long investigation. Investigators say 2 of the people arrested had active warrants. President Trump posted about the video of the raid to his Truth Social account. He claims some of those arrested are murderers and violent criminals. The DEA has not identified anyone accused of murder among those detained.
Some people in Durham are protesting against ICE agents in public schools.
Power to the people, no one is illegal. No ICE in our state.
There were about 30 people out there gathered at CCB Plaza yesterday for this demonstration. Organizers say they're calling on Durham public schools not to collaborate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They also demanded Durham schools create better mental health services for undocumented children and their families.
Shots fired at the Fayetteville Dogwood Festival prompted it to close early. Officers responded to reports of shots fired on Maiden Lane just outside the festival grounds around 8:30 Saturday night. The gunfire sent people in the crowd running, including Fawn Dockery, who was there with his wife and daughter. Dockery lost his 8-year-old daughter, Genesis, in a shooting in 2023, which WRAL has covered extensively.
I think I was more traumatized and shocked that, again, we're in this situation. Shots are fired in Fayetteville again. We need to make sure that we are being accountable and responsible in our own homes. That is the first line of defense. That is the first line of education. That is the first line of discipline and accountability that we have to take to stop this problem.
Fayetteville police officers were seen canvassing the area yesterday.
20 minutes before 5 right on your Monday. A hit and run on the water. A person is dead. Several are injured after a boat hit a ferry in Florida. What investigators are saying about this crash.
Oklahoma flooding. Heavy rainfall causes people to evacuate their homes by boat, where the storm system that caused it is threatening millions of people today.
And maybe a jacket before you head out the door this morning. A live look in Zebulon for you. Good morning to you. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will be back after the break with the weather whiplash we're going to experience. It'll take us from the 40s to near 90 in the next few days.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44, and we have some 40s out here. So just stepping out the door, a little unusual for this time of year. 47 in Wilson and in Durham, and it's 52 in Fayetteville. So feeling comfortably cool this morning. Our skies are clear, but a jacket would be nice. Came in a jacket this morning. We do have the top of the tower here lit in blue for clear skies, and it will be a phenomenal lunch hour outside today. 71 degrees, so feeling nice and cool, comfortable, not too windy, not humid. So take advantage while we have it. At the bus stop this morning, you may see kids in jackets. This afternoon, of course, it'll be nice and mild with temperatures in the upper 70s under mostly sunny skies. The heat is back around the middle of the week and will also add a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you the changing pattern coming up.
New this morning, one person is dead and others are hurt after a boat hit a ferry filled with people in Clearwater, Florida. This happened around 8:40 last night. Investigators say a boat crashed into the Clearwater ferry and then left the scene. There were 45 people on board the ferry. One person died, at least 6 others were hurt. Police say 2 people were taken by helicopter to nearby hospitals. Investigators say they believe they have found the boat, but no arrests have been made yet.
Tomorrow, we expect a final decision on whether to keep fluoride in drinking water in Harnett County. This comes after health officials recommended to the County Board of Commissioners to keep it last week. Board of Health members spend 20 minutes watching a presentation on the benefits of water fluoridation, and members emphasize that fluoride levels are closely monitored.
India's Navy is testing missiles as tensions with Pakistan escalate. The Indian Navy posted this video to X showing test missile strikes. The tests come days after a militant attack on civilians in the disputed region of Kashmir. 26 tourists died in that attack. India has not officially blamed any group for the attack, but it has accused Pakistan of supporting cross-border terrorism.
Thousands are paying their respects to Pope Francis at his tomb, including the cardinals who will soon choose his successor. The Pope was buried at St. Mary Major Basilica in Rome after his funeral Saturday. He's the first pope to be laid to rest outside the Vatican in more than a century. The casket was placed in a simple marble tomb in a side aisle of the basilica, with only his name inscribed on top.
A procession in Kansas City honored a first responder who was killed in the line of duty. Police say a woman stabbed paramedic Graham Hoffman while they were in an ambulance on the way to a hospital early Sunday morning. The fire chief says the stab wound pierced Hoffman's heart. The 29-year-old Hoffman had been with the Kansas City Fire Department since 2022. The woman is now in custody facing charges.
A severe weather threat is ramping up across the country this week. A storm system that's expected to bring severe weather to the Midwest today dropped heavy rain in Oklahoma over the weekend. Parts of southwest Oklahoma got between 4 and 7 inches of rain, which caused flash flooding. First responders even used boats to help some people evacuate their homes. A different storm system spun up at least 2 tornadoes that touched down in Texas over the weekend. They happened near Amarillo early Saturday morning. Several homes had damage to their roofs. No one was hurt.
4:47 is the time right now, and as we bring you in on a Monday morning weather in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with Elizabeth Gardner. Beautiful weekend.
It was.
It is nice and crisp out there right now, and it's going to ramp up.
Yeah, hopefully everybody got a chance to get out. It looks like you got a chance to get out, Jeff.
I was in some sun for a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
It was. I was out in some sun too. I mean, I hope everybody was. It was beautiful out there. We take a live look at Raleigh right now. It's 47 degrees, so it's nice and cool. Our dew point is a very comfortable 41, so it doesn't really feel like early May. It feels probably more like, late March or something like that. But beautiful day for today. It's down to 37 in Roxborough, 41 in South Hill, 42 Goldsboro, 49 in Southern Pines, right around the Triangle. More 40s. It's 47 in Cary on Garner, 43 in Durham, 44 in Holly Springs. So it's nice and cool out there. So we're going to go from around 47 this morning to a high of 90 on Wednesday. So it's going to be quick, and it all happens with a shift in our wind. Right now, our wind is coming out of the north, so that's keeping things nice and cool this morning, and it'll be comfortable as we get through the day. Now, once we get through the afternoon, we start to see our wind shifting to southerly, and as we get into tomorrow, that wind is coming right out of the south. You can see the red shaded arrows coming out of the south, bringing that warm air. But feeling great today. 78 in Raleigh and Durham and 81 in Fayetteville. Nice, comfortable day to spend some time outside. Our muggy meter way down there at refreshing. It feels great out there. But tomorrow we begin to see that moving up a level to comfy. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we're at tolerable, so it'll be in the 60s. How about temperatures? Tomorrow we'll climb to 84. Won't feel too bad, but then we're at 90 on Wednesday. So just know we're going to be ahead of this front. Our temperatures will be much warmer, and as that front gets closer to us, it'll also ramp up our chances for some showers and thunderstorms, say Wednesday into Thursday. Our normal high is 76, so we hit 90 Wednesday, 89 on Thursday. That's well above normal, but not a record. Hopefully you got outside over the weekend. I love this. We had Martina, Ronald, and Cameron send us this. This is a look at some wave clouds, and wave clouds form when the air above the air at one level is faster than the air at a different level, and it kind of scoops the tops of the clouds like that. So it was a really neat picture. Thanks for sending us that. Go to WRAL.com/report it. Send us your photos. We do get into a better chance for storms, especially Thursday and Friday. And behind that front, we're cool again for the weekend. How about that?
Just a roller coaster ride. Elizabeth, thank you. Brewing up support. How the success of the Boogaloo Festival over the weekend in Raleigh could give a big boost to Western North Carolina businesses.
Also caught on camera what led to this wild crash of a speedboat in Arizona. It happened right in front of a crowd of spectators.
A clue about the final film in a possible trilogy and a new way to go inside your favorite movies. David Daniel has details in the Hollywood Minute.
You know, the little amortization book and the green eye shade and the dorky pocket protector and...
I have a pocket protector.
That's a nice one.
Anna Kendrick's Dana and Ben Affleck's Chris connected, eventually, in 2016's The Accountant. But Kendrick and her character did not return for the recent sequel. However, director Gavin O'Connor says he's long planned an accountant trilogy. And he tells the New York Times he's been texting with Kendrick, and she said she's 100% in if we want.
Here's the band. Good evening again. This is Mark from the Starlighters, and we're going to make this a night to remember. So let's get started!
Universal Fan Fest nights at Universal Studios Hollywood lets fans immerse themselves in their favorite films and franchises. Opening night brought Back to the Future co-writer Bob Gale back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
It's amazing, and it's just amazing to see the people reacting the way that they are. They're having the best time. It's the closest anybody can get to actually being in the movie.
In Hill Valley, just north of Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oh, the clock tower. Boogaloo is over for 2025, but breweries from Western North Carolina do hope it'll have a lasting impact on their businesses. The annual event draws tens of thousands of people to downtown Raleigh, hoping to sample some of the more than 110 breweries that they have to offer there. Always a big business for brewers, but for Asheville and Boone-based breweries, The festival also offered an opportunity to get the word out that 7 months now after Hurricane Helene, they are back open for business, and they are ready and willing to take customers and tourists into their mountain towns.
Cheers to that. Well, this morning we're expecting an announcement in Washington, D.C. about the new home of the NFL's Commanders. The team is expected to announce it is returning to the site of its former home, RFK Stadium. The team played there from 1961 to 1996 before moving to a new stadium in suburban Maryland. The Commanders owner has said he would like the new stadium built by 2030. It's expected to cost more than $3 billion.
A scary crash at an Arizona boating competition caught on camera here. A power boat trying to set a speed record on Lake Havasu is going about 210 miles an hour. It gets airborne right there, flipped over several times and lands in the water there. 2 people on board the boat suffered broken bones, but they are expected to be okay. A murder trial begins today. Jury selection gets started in the case of a Raleigh man accused of killing his mother. What we are expected to hear in the courtroom.
Campus shooting. What we're learning about the violence at Elizabeth City State University that killed a man and left 6 others hurt.
And town leadership uncertainty, the chance people in Zebulon are getting to get some answers about what's going on within their local government after the resignations of the town manager and his assistant.